Hi, everybody. I'm Brittany Chavers.
And I'm Deb Floros. And this is
Crimped.
Crimped. Welcome to our inaugural edition of this little jewelry making monthly show that we're doing. And we're so happy that all of you are here.
If you missed the preview, we're working together on a talk show style jewelry show with lots of discussion and even a fun challenge.
And the challenge is actually what inspired the name of this show. So if you're a fan of the Food Network, there's a show there called Chopped. And that show is really fun. So the competitors, they're all chefs or maybe wannabe chefs, and they're handed a basket of things, ingredients that they need to include in a dish. So we thought, what if we stirred up some ingredients that we give each other and we require that the other one has to use it to make a piece of jewelry? So we actually revealed our first challenge and we were really easy on each other.
Very easy.
Very easy on each other. So we revealed them on the page and on in the actual group. So we thought maybe today we'd just take a minute to take another look at them and talk about how we put them together. So Brittany, you want to show yours first?
Absolutely. I ended up making 2 pairs of earrings because I could not choose between them which ones were my favorite. Although once I've started posting them, I did quickly realize the more turquoise version is my favorite. So here we go. I think, what do I call them? Desert pearl earrings. And somebody on my YouTube channel made a comment that they loved the style. It was like vintage ranch wife, best going out jewelry. And I said, if that isn't my aesthetic, I don't know what is. And I was just like, that is the best description of what these are that I've ever heard. And that will be me and my personality going forward. So
I totally love that. That whoever came up with that was right on, spot on.
Right, spot on. So I made these. They've got kind of like a Greek key motif with some leather and pearls and seed beads. These are hand painted focals. And then I did make a second pair using very similar things, but it turned out completely different. I think
Those
this
are
one,
my favorite.
Oh, thanks. I think these represent more of a sky look because that pearl at the top looks more like a cloud. And then we have the lighter aqua and some yellow leather and checked glass and pearls at the bottom. But each one, it felt like my brain was exploding the entire time. And I had just so much creativity and excitement while making them. So this challenge really got me going.
Well,
What about you, Deb?
I think your focals, since they were your handmade focals, were divine. I mean, that makes the whole thing, all of the pieces and parts that you put around them. I mean, it was kismet for them. So I really liked them.
Thanks, Deb. Let's talk about yours. Yours were gorgeous.
So these are like super funky, like wild and crazy. And you mentioned in your YouTube video that you thought maybe we might come up with something similar. I thought the same thing.
I was so worried.
How many times have we done that?
Like at least five.
Yes.
Sometimes Deb will text me like, we made the same necklace. And I'll be like, Deb, I made the same necklace. Even though we don't give each other clues, it was like we're connected on a brainwave or something.
Yeah. And it's not like, you're coming over to my house and seeing stuff by accident, or that just doesn't happen. So yeah. So they could not be more different. So
no, they couldn't. But I love that you used kind of the same colors.
Yeah, well, so I have to say the turquoise thing got in my brain a little bit. So I had this metallic turquoise leather, and it was just maybe 12 inches of leather stashed away. And I took the seed beads and I wire wrapped them on with some really fine gauge wire. It's probably like 24 or 26, might be 26. Little seed beads, and then I just used glass pearls, just nothing fancy pearls, and I used some crimp ends to crimp onto the leather to then attach to these little fun little connector pieces, and they're big. I mean, they're both of our, that's one thing that was the same, is both earring, or all three earrings are big earrings.
I
So
think
they're,
the way that you use that scrap piece of leather is the most impactful way you could have chosen to use a 12-inch piece of leather. That's amazing.
yeah, in fact, I think I even have a little bit left over. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is like, a lot of times when you make things, like, you don't need a ton of it. Like
Right.
the seed, I mean, I used 8 pearls for this. So if it was like a strand from Michael's or something, and I have like more than half a strand left. So you don't need a lot of beads and goodies to make, a cool pair of earrings or necklace or anything. And I think you and I do that pretty well. When we
And
make
that's
stuff.
you trying to make something actually like crazy, and regular pair of earrings, we could probably use 3 beads and get away with it. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think on the larger one, let's see, I used 10, 13 pearls on each of the bigger, but it's lightweight because it's,
Yeah.
polymer clay. So
Yeah.
I love this challenge. It was amazing.
Yeah. We're going to talk about the next challenge at the end of the show today. And one thing we didn't encourage, but one thing that we want to encourage today is you guys should take this challenge. So the challenge is make a pair of earrings, use pearls, use leather, use seed beads, and don't use any charms, because those can take up a lot of real estate.
And your
Use those,
creativity.
yeah.
Take away your
So
creativity. Yeah.
use those things, and we want to see what you make. So post in the group and share your challenge piece. And we plan to do this throughout the course of this show. We want to give you the challenge as well. So please go out and post. We love, love, love to see what you make. So take the challenge. Take the crimp challenge.
Don't be shy. Don't be shy. We want to see it.
Yes.
Post what you make.
Yes. Yes. So, so we thought it might be a good idea to make sure that you guys really know who you're dealing with for this show. So maybe you don't know either one of us and you're going, what the heck is going on here? Who are these ladies? But maybe you know Brittany because you followed Brittany for a long time. Maybe you just know me. But we thought we would do like a little get to know us by interviewing each other. And we can continue to do this as we do the show, so we can field some questions maybe in every show. Maybe you can even ask the questions. But we put together some questions for each other to get started. So you guys know us. So we'll spend a little bit more time today, but for the inaugural show, you probably really should know what kind of crazies you're dealing with here. I should only speak for myself.
No, you
not
said
necessarily
the right thing. You said the right thing.
So, Brittany, do you want to start the first question, or do you want me to ask the first question?
No, let's start with you. Tell me about your background in jewelry making and why you started doing what you're doing right now.
Okay. So I started making jewelry back in the late 2000s when I moved to Connecticut. So I was living in California at the time, moved out to Connecticut, fish out of water. And I was driving through my my town one day, and I see this little strip mall, this little quintessential New England strip mall, and a building with a big sign that says Beads. And I literally did like I almost flipped the car.
See a bead store.
Now I really do that. I almost flip the car every time. And I went up to the window. The sign on the window said classes and open beading night. And I thought, I'd always been really interested in fashion and accessories and all of that. So I'd always sort of in the back of my mind thought I really would like to make jewelry sometime. So I called and they said, come in on Tuesday. Tuesday's our open beading night. And we sat down and that was it for me. They taught me how to crimp. And I brought in some beads that I found this broken necklace at a consignment store or a thrift store or something, and I brought the beads in, and they helped me make something with it, and that was it. I mean, ever since then, it's just blossomed into. I have a whole freaking house full of of beads and jewelry supplies,
As you
and
should.
now yes, and now I'm doing that full time. I retired from corporate America a couple of years ago, and so this is my life now. And
Has
I
it been 2 years already, Deb?
almost it'll be 2 years at the end of April.
Oh,
So almost 2 years.
wow. Wow.
So I'm having a blast, but that's how I got started. And I think it just happens that way. Like the light goes on and then you're obsessed,
Hmm.
right? What about
Yeah.
you? I know you started really young.
Yeah, super young. And I've explained this a few times, but I'll go from the beginning. I remember, and I can't remember if it was 8, but I'm thinking that's probably the age to be anywhere from 6 to 10, I guess. And my grandmother, my dad's mother, Grandma Myrtle, gave me a 1,000-piece bead kit, and it was all plastic beads. I think I remember bananas being in there, and like the tri beads and the little plastic pony beads and the plastic faceted beads. And I'm sure my mom was so happy because she was going to have all these beads all over her house. But I got to tell you, that was the first
Vacuum.
time that I was like able to like sort something and do like little combinations, and I'm like, oh, my brain loved it. And I remember I would sit like, my parents would be in the living room and I would sit on the floor, and I had like a needle and thread, and I would just stack like the little plastic tri beads onto this piece of thread, and then pick all these different color combinations, and I just like kind of stick the needle in the arm of the couch because it was a fabric couch. I just like seeing it hang there. And that's the earliest memory I have of anything to do with beads. Now, making it into jewelry, I don't remember if I started making jewelry then, but I was obsessed with beads from then on. And then moving into when I was like 13, 14, 15, I started making like hemp necklaces and stuff, and I would make jewelry, and I would use fishing line, and I would use, I don't know if you know those like those metal coils. I didn't really know anything about jewelry
Yeah,
because this was like 1998 through like 2001. There was no YouTube, and if there was, I didn't have access to it. And I didn't know anything about jewelry making. I didn't have any books or anything. So those little coils, I would just tie the fishing line onto those and then string my bead and then maybe put a clasp on. I don't know how I got the clasp on, um, but every single one of them broke. And I would sell them, and then people come back and be like, "Oh, this broke," and I'm like, "Sorry, your $4 is
sorry.
gone." Like, but then,
Yours.
yeah, I always had my jewelry with me. I would make, necklaces and everything, and it was a lot of fun, and got me through a lot of tough times. And I remember the craft store had like a lot of check glass, and back then I didn't really know what that was, and I thought the beads were kind of like, who cares? Like these are just glass beads. But now I'm so thankful I never got rid of most of those beads. I have them behind me over here, and they're still in the boxes from when I was like 14, 15, 16. It's crazy. And then I took a little hiatus, got into scrapbooking, but then after at college, this is what got me back into making jewelry and really trying to figure out how to do it the correct way. I graduated, I think it was 2009. I graduated from college, and I wanted a vintage inspired necklace, and I lived in the boonies. There was no jewelry places like this. I was thinking I want a flower or something on one side, and I want it to be pearls on the other. And I had to drive 30 miles to get to a Target, and they had some necklace that was kind of passable. And then I thought, I never want to be in this situation again. I want to have something that I can make or match my outfit. And I started learning how to do jewelry through tutorials on YouTube, the internet, things like that. And I got back into beads big time. And then by the end, I want to say of 2009, I had opened up Etsy and started full time selling online for jewelry, and that blossomed for the next 4 years until I decided to enter corporate America. But now, now jewelry became my hobby, and again was something that helped me through some tough times. So that's how I got into this. And then in 2020, we started 2019, I started my YouTube channel, and that was that. So it's been a long journey. It's been like 30 years.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I feel like my journey has been 30 years, but it's only been about 15. But I'm seeing another topic maybe for a later show, and people can comment. Like, would they want to see your box of beads from back then? We could do a little show and tell, and
There's like 10 of them. Yeah.
and I could show that first piece that I made that first night, because I still have that. I keep it close because it's something that reminds me of that, that little trigger that started everything. So we could show that. That would be kind of fun.
Do that, because I still have pictures from when I used to sell jewelry of the style that I was thinking of wearing for my graduation, but didn't get to wear. So
yeah, we should do that. What is your jewelry making default? Like, what is your go-to? Like, you say, I need to go make something. Do you go and do you string something? Do you macrame something? What's your default technique?
For earrings, I would just say a simple like wire wrap earring with a charm or something like that. It's funny because my default now is not what my default was when I started back into jewelry making. I didn't learn how to start really making crimped necklaces until maybe 5 years ago. Like I would not, I didn't trust it, wouldn't make a necklace. All of my hands, all my jewelry was hand linked, like pearls and stuff like that. I wouldn't do that. But I think now crimping and like stringing is my go-to.
Yeah.
What about you?
I would say my go-to is stringing, but I think I coined this phrase a while, people probably laugh, but I consider myself a master stringer. Like, I can create anything with stringing and take the stringing to the next level. But I think my default now is trying to take like the basic of anything and take it up like a step. So if it's wire wrapping, really basic wire wrapping, showing people that you can do something really unusual with basic wire wrapping, or stringing, or even some things with seed beads. So just trying to give people that like encouragement to take it up a level. But I'm definitely a stringer to the core.
One thing I say on the channel a lot is if you don't like it, change it. So that's probably one of my things too, is changing your beads around, like painting, gluing things to them, sanding them, burning them, doing whatever you need to do. So yeah, I think technique wise, yeah.
Well, and it's something I put out there on the page, is that we would love to sit and talk about some of those very things with you guys. And I think there's been some interest in a lot of that stuff. So we will certainly be doing some of that as we go through this show. What about what is your favorite technique at the moment? Like, is there anything that you're really obsessed with making at the moment? I know.
Yeah, polymer clay. It's funny because for a little while I was really not into making polymer clay. Like for a year or a year and a half, I was angry. And it was because I had a horrible toaster oven, and it underbaked a bunch of pieces, and I snapped them all, and I was so angry. And then I overbaked them and it charred them all. And I was like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. My friend Heidi was laughing at me because she'd text me periodically and say, have you made anything with polymer clay? No, I'm too mad. I can't. I'm not even looking at it. But lately, I have been obsessed. And you've been along on that ride with me because I text Deb pictures of stuff all the time. She's like, wait, I need that. I need that. But yeah, it's amazing. It's encouraged me to move forward and open a bead store. So very excited and looking forward to that. But yeah, polymer clay has renewed my interest lately.
Yeah, I saw some of those beads firsthand, guys, and they are epic, really.
Thanks. I love hearing that.
My obsession lately is kind of the micro macrame technique.
Ooh.
So I did a live with Danielle Wicks back in November, and Danielle introduced me to a product that I'm happy to share with folks. But it's a waxed polyester cord. John Bead and Michaels sell it, and it is like a 0.38 millimeter. It
Ooh.
is teeny
Teeny
tiny.
tiny.
But
Yeah.
because it's waxed polyester, it's really easy to work with. So I have literally been macrameing my brains out. Like I have made so many pieces of jewelry. I've done projects for a lot of the companies that I collaborate with, and bracelets, and I've been using seed beads in the designs and some of the 2-hole beads.
Mm.
So I'm having a blast with that. I am crazy about it. And it's very relaxing. Like it's
Yeah.
just kind of making and listening to music or listening to a TV show or something. It's very zen.
That sounds awesome. I haven't seen that cord, so I'll have to text Danielle like, "Hey, what's going on with this cord?"
I'll share the brand. It's a made in America brand. And they have a variety of colors. So it's really, really nice to work with. So we'll have to share that out to the group. It's good
Yeah.
stuff.
Can't wait to
Yeah.
see what that is. Very
Yeah.
cool. Um, so what is one thing that you think our audience would be surprised by, either your jewelry making or something that you've done around jewelry making?
So something that you said in your JTV show last week, your JTV extra show last week, you said something about simple loops.
Oh, yeah.
No can do.
Don't tell me, Deb.
No can do. So
They're
I
simple loops.
I learned how to make earrings by doing wrap loops. When I
Mm,
was sitting at that bead shop, that's how I was taught. That's how I did everything with wire, because that's all I knew. And nobody in, it was funny because nobody in that shop or in my immediate circle did simple loops. So I never
wild.
even saw anybody do one for a long time. And over the years, I see them and I see, people talk about them and teach whatever they are teaching and make a simple loop. And yep. And I try it and they are terrible. And
Oh, Deb.
so I am a forever learner. And so every month now that I do this full time, I block off a certain number of days and I either work on a skill that I'm not very good at, or I teach myself something new, or I watch videos. I mean, maybe I'm not teaching myself, but someone's teaching me how to do something. And so I think what I need to do is set some time in one of the coming months, and I need to focus on that and finally learn how to do it.
Well, we're going to be together in about a week in Tucson, so I'm doing a simple loop with you. I
Okay.
can't. I've probably made a million simple loops in my life because that's how
Mhm.
I used to make jewelry before I got into wire wrapping. And almost opposite of you, I couldn't do a wire wrapped loop to save my life. It took me forever, and still some days I'm like, maybe I'm faking this a little bit too much, but yeah, it's. I think on that live I did do a really basic demonstration of what a simple loop is, but maybe that's something that I need to focus on, like a tutorial just for a simple loop, because I
Yeah.
think a lot of people are intimidated about around wire in general, never mind simple versus wrapped.
Yeah, maybe another idea. You could do one on a simple loop. I could do one on a wrap loop, and we could share them out, and it would be exclusive content for these folks.
Yeah, that'd be very cool. Very
Yeah,
cool.
maybe. So, what about you? What is something that people would be surprised by, other than the wrap loop thing? Like, what else? What?
Um, well, I kind of already said that I didn't string for until like about 5 years ago. Um, the one thing that I think a lot of my viewers know, but maybe don't understand is that I don't love bead weaving. Um, and I can't to the point where I'm sure I probably could do it, but I get into it 5 seconds later. I'm like, nope, don't want to do this. Just I've actually been working with our mutual friend Julie once. We were making a bracelet. I literally got maybe like 15 beads on the bracelet. I looked at her. I'm like, I'm done. She's like, what do you mean you're done? I said, I'm not doing this anymore. I
Can't do it.
quit. Quit. So I think it's just don't have the attention span for it or the interest because I can get pretty detailed, but it just putting on 7,000 little seed beads just not for me. I love seed beads, just not weaving
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. That's something I've been really working on. I did a lot of seed bead projects in the very early days. So that bead
Hmm.
shop back east,
Hmm.
they had people that would teach some stuff. And I learned a lot, but
Hmm.
then I didn't do it for a long time because when I was working, I had this much jewelry making time and I didn't want to spend it
Hmm.
all making one bracelet.
Yes, that might be it too. That might be it too. I have
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
much time to do something that crazy. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So now I am sort of taking the time, but I get it. It's a different commitment. You can string a necklace, make a matching pair of earrings, make a bracelet in an hour,
Hmm.
but
Yeah, if you
you
really wanted to,
you
for sure.
you might need a couple, 2, 3, 5, 10 hours
Months.
months to make a bracelet or earrings or yeah. So yeah. So that's I get it. Totally get it.
So I have a question for you. If you, let's say you're not in the zone and you really want to make something, but you just have zero inspiration, what do you do? Is there like a go-to item that you make, or is there something that you go to get that inspiration?
For me, I just kind of come in my studio and start pawing around in the
Mhm.
stuff. So probably 3 or 4 times a year, I dig through all of my bead bins. And Brittany freaks out when she sees my
Lost it.
organization skills.
Lost
It's
it.
bad. It's really
It's
bad.
terrible.
So, I've gotten better because she's inspired me, but I
Mhm.
still have bins of stuff that is just not organized in any way. So about 4 times a year, I just grab a bunch of stuff. Like I'll dump out the bin, grab a bunch of things, and I'll put it into a basket. I've got a couple, actually a couple of them, and I just come in my studio and I grab a couple of things and start to put the idea together. And sometimes, even if I'm not like if I'm really just not feeling it, sometimes just starting to put the idea together helps me the next time I come back in here. So I'll put a little pile, or a little basket full of things. And then the next time I'm like, oh, now I see it. Now I feel it. And I start to work it. So it's just kind of getting in and touching and seeing and fiddling with all of the things. And then that kind of brings forth the actual thing that it's going to become. What about
Yeah.
you? What do you do?
Um, it depends on what the project is for. I work with a lot of companies, so typically they have something that they want to see. But if it's something like just for me, I will take, let's say I find, like, I just posted a video of cats, right? The cat earrings.
Okay.
That cat, I was obsessed with that cat, and I was like, I want something with polka dots. So I went, and I haven't done a tour of my studio yet, my new one. But I went over to the wall of IKEA over here, and I looked for a black and white polka dot bead in every drawer, and I ended up finding, and actually back here where these curtains are more IKEA things. Started back there, but found an African bead that had polka dots, and then I went from there, and then I, went through all my green drawers because I knew I wanted some green, and went in the check glass and the stone and the African, and it's like you said, I feel like I call it shopping. I go bead shopping. Um,
Great.
so typically it's like, or I find something while I'm looking for something else and I see it and I'm like, oh, I forgot I had that. Let's put that to the side so I can figure out something. Right now, I have a like I usually set out some beads on my IKEA drawer, and I found this beautiful strand of Millefiori glass at Hobby Lobby of all places. And it was so stunning. And it immediately set my brain on fire. And I went start going through all of my drawers. And now I have two necklaces that I want to make together. And they couldn't be, the components. I would have never thought to put all these things together. Hopefully I'll get to that this week because I want to make it so I can wear both of them at Tucson. But it's that setting time aside, which time is a gift these days, and really like being intentional about the color theory, and not just saying, oh, I just want to make something to make something. There are days like that where you just kind of got to get over the slump, like put a pearl on a head pin and put it on an earring wire, and there you go.
Call it a day.
Yeah, I saw one time this blog post, and I unfortunately don't know the woman's name, but she said, make 100 things. You don't, just make 100 things. Doesn't matter what it is, make 100 things. And she would put a beadboard out and put, I don't think she would actually make the 100 earrings, but she would put beads on head pins or beads in little groups together, and or string it on elastic cord, and she would lay out 100 pieces of jewelry, and that got her going. And if she didn't finish it, it didn't matter because her inspiration had come back. So halfway through, you're inspired, let me go actually make a piece. So there's so many different ways, but that's the way I do it. I just start by shopping and then get going.
Yeah, there's a ton of inspiration challenges that usually go out at the beginning of the year. So some of the bead shops will put out a calendar or, a monthly blog or something. And of course, there are videos abound
Yes.
across YouTube and Facebook and Instagram. So there's always something that maybe will spark you, like even if you don't have the exact beads or the exact materials, it might inspire something a little bit different that you have access to and can actually do it. So
Right.
There's tons of ways, and I hope that people will get some inspiration from us as we do this.
Me too.
Yeah. So
I would love to hear though how our viewers get their inspiration. If you put a comment in the description or the comments of this video, tell us how you get your inspiration.
Yeah, and I'd also like to hear if there are any questions you would like to have us answer in future shows. So we'll do a little bit more of this because we still have several topics to cover today, and just a little, just how we were thinking about this show is we'll always sort of have a couple of feature topics, even if they're short. And then we'll always have some recurring things. And obviously the challenge is one. So Brittany, if it's okay with you, I'm going to talk a little bit about the Pantone color of the year.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So Pantone, a lot of people say, who the heck is Pantone? Well, they are a world institute, and they are one of the leading sources on color information. So they focus a lot on the psychology and emotion of Pantone, or of color, and they help businesses and brands come up with color, and they work on custom colors and that kind of thing. And they help trendsetters and trend setting around color. And so a lot of fashion designers and home designers use Pantone as a source of information on how they should design and what colors they should use in their designs. So they are a great reference. And I thought I would just show everybody. I'm going to suggest that you go out and you check out the Pantone website. So this is can you see that? I just want to make sure you can see it, Brittany.
It's gorgeous.
So this is the Pantone website, and every year they announce a color of the year. So they usually do it towards the end of one year to talk about the next year. And they'll do other palettes for the year, but they kind of announce one big color for the year. And the color of the year is actually called Peach Fuzz. They assign a name to it or a number to it and a name to the color, and they have a little bit of a theme. So going back here, it's embrace the warmth. And I'll tell you what, so this color, I remember being out kind of in the late 2000s, maybe in the like 2008, 2009 range. I had a lot of beads this color. I made a lot of designs with this color, and then it faded out. But when this came out, I thought, I don't know. But when I read this and saw what this was about, I have a different feeling about it. So just really quickly, it says peach fuzz captures our desire to nurture ourselves and others. It's a velvety, gentle peach tone whose all-embracing spirit enriches mind, body, and soul. And then the executive director of Pantone said, in seeking a hue that echoes our innate yearning for closeness and connection, we chose a color radiant with warmth and modern elegance, a shade that resonates with compassion, offers a tactile embrace, and effortlessly bridges the youthful with the timeless. So that turned me. That made me really, jive with this. And I'm not going to show it. I could, but there's a video, just a quickie video called Sharing Kindness, and it's all around this color. Go to the Pantone website, check it out in general, and then watch that video. I just think it touched me, and I think the color, embracing the warmth, thinking about kindness, I think it's special. So I don't know, Brittany, what do you think? You really can't say you hate it now because I mean, maybe it's not your preference, but what do you really?
I would never say I hate peach. Peach is one of my favorite colors. I love pinks, and you guys know I love turquoise, but pinks and like hot pinks, peaches are my second favorite. So I've always been obsessed with peach. Love the flavor. Anything peach is good with me. So I love it. I don't love the name, which is funny. I think but I love the color. Love the color.
Well, we would love to hear what you guys think about this color as well. So, there's going to be other palettes and things that are released throughout the year. So if we see something that we think you guys might be interested in or might want to talk about, we'll introduce that to you either on the page or in one of our shows. So tell us what you think about Peach Fuzz. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Please don't say you hate it, but maybe you don't like it. And tell us what you think about, the resources that might be available through Pantone, because it's kind of cool to have access to that kind of information out there. So we just thought that might be something you would be interested in.
I'm feeling like I need to make a turquoise and peach piece now. Give me a turquoise strand that I got in Tucson last year. Maybe some peach would go with that.
So speaking of Tucson, that's our next feature. Do you want to start talking about that, Brittany?
Well, yes, I'm going next Saturday, but if you don't know what Tucson is, I feel like Tucson's almost like, not to be dramatic, but like the mecca for bead makers, right? For bead makers, jewelry makers, gemstone fanatics, rock hounds, anybody who's looking for a fossil, anything to do with the earth. It's the ultimate pinnacle of the year is going to Tucson in the winter, right?
It's our Super Bowl.
Yeah, our Super Bowl. It's our Stanley Cup. It's the championship.
World Series.
Right. So we're going, Deb, I think you're going out on like a day or two before me, but I will be there from Saturday, what is that, the 27th, until Wednesday the 1st, I want to say, February. And then I'm probably going to go back down on Saturday again, because why not, right? Thankfully, I live only 90 minutes away from Tucson, and it's such a wonderful gift to be able to go down there and do this. But it is the largest bead and gem and mineral show in the world. And several years ago, the estimate was about 60,000 people descend on Tucson during these few weeks. And it's a huge boost to their economy. but everybody from all around the world, every continent almost, shows up, and we all have this love for beads and gems and rocks and jewelry in common. And if it's a bucket list item, I'm so thankful that I live in the state where this happens, so I can go every year. This will be, I think, my fifth year going, and it was always my goal when I lived across the country to at least get there once. So every year I learn something new, I meet new people, and I see just amazing, amazing things. And I cannot wait to get shopping this year.
Oh my
So,
God.
yeah. How about you, Deb? What are you looking forward to?
Well, I think one thing that is a bit of a misnomer and people don't realize is most of the time when you hear like gem show or bead show, you like drive your car to the community center or the convention center somewhere, you pull into the parking lot, you go in, you walk around, and you're done. Not in Tucson.
That's how it was in Ohio for sure.
There and Connecticut, when I lived in Connecticut, there was one show in the state, and it was like 25 vendors. But it is literally shows all over the city, and it goes on for
Mhm.
a month. Like some
Yeah.
shows are open for 5 days, and some shows are open for a month, and some are open for 2 weeks, and they're in tents, they're in hotels, they're everywhere in the city, in the
Mhm.
casino. So there are
In
tons of
parking
shows.
lots.
Yes, yes, with
Mhm.
huge, some tents are very fancy, some are not as fancy. Some are air conditioned just because they're open air. So
Some of them are raining, and you have to, thankfully last year we had such good weather last year, but I know the first year I went, it was like Noah levels of rain, and there was rain in every tent, and you just had to be, so you have to be prepared. Take several different types of shoes with you, because you're going to be walking, and you're going to be standing, and you're going to be learning something new every single time about what the weather can do to you in Tucson. One year it was super super windy, so don't do your hair before you go to one of these things. But
yeah,
yeah.
I want to be prepared for the glamour shots, but I also want to not like be like worried about it the whole entire
Mhm.
time.
Mhm.
So comfortable shoes, crossbody bag,
Yep. A roller bag. I was bead
roller bag.
mom last year. I gotta say, I was bead mom with Deb, Julie, and Cindy, because I had everything in my roller bag. I remember I had hand sanitizer, water bottles, I
Candy.
had candy, I had baby wipes. I had everything. And every time, either Deb, Cindy, or Julie was just like, oh, this is fantastic. So I hopefully next year, this year, you all will take some initiative.
I've been going to this thing for years. I used to travel from Connecticut to the
Hmm.
shows, and you'd think I would have learned the whole baby wipe thing and,
These
all
beads
that.
are dirty, folks. Dirty,
Some of
dirty.
some of them are really bad too. Depending on the
Hmm.
show, they can be really bad. But also with all the germs around, like,
Hmm.
it's better. So, but I also think it's very helpful to have candy.
Yeah, snacks. Make sure you do
Yeah,
your snack shopping. Have snacks in your hotel, have snacks in your car, have snacks in your
water.
bag, water. Yeah, these are things that you've got to make sure that you have on hand for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. I have a pretty small budget this year, so I do have a short list of things. I mean, I don't really. I mean, both of us really probably don't really need anything
Hush your
desperately,
mouth. Hush your mouth. What
but
does the word need
need
mean
is
when it
not
comes to
the
beads?
word for this experience. Like so, but there's a few things I definitely want to pick up. And Tucson is always my time for stocking up on daisy spacers. So I am a daisy spacer hoarding person. And so I buy as many as I can. There's usually quite a few vendors that I can pick up all the colors and the sizes and everything from. So
Yeah, I can think of a
I'll be
couple
doing that.
that I hit specifically for spacers. Um, yeah, I was somebody asked me last week on JTV Live, I think it was Katie. She was like, "Is there something specific you're looking for this year?" I was like, beads. Beads.
Beads.
I am not, last year I don't think I bought any gemstones until the last show I went to because I found a fantastic deal on them. But some years I'm like obsessed with gemstones. Some years I'm
Mhm.
obsessed with artisan. Like last year I was really obsessed with artisan beads. I'm always obsessed with African beads because I just love the colors and the textures. I'm really, really hoping, every year you kind of see a new wave of beads. You see the old
Yeah,
ones, but then you
yeah.
see like what is coming out for 2024. So I'm really excited to get to African Village and see. Last year I think I went 2 or 3 times. I want to go more than once. It's a different experience because I'll be going with my friends, but then I want to spend some time by myself. I'm introverted at heart. I know you guys can't tell that because I'm always talking, but I am like I take some time, some downtime, and just go and build those relationships with the vendors too. There are specific vendors that I love to see every year, so I'm really looking forward to African Village. I'm really looking forward to the casino where I can see my friends Amy Mealy and Damiana and Golem Studio and just really
Patricia
catch up.
Keeley.
Yeah, I know you're really good friends with her. Like, just catch up, see what's new. It's always fun seeing what they've come up with for the new year because, yes, they have fan favorites, but I love, last year, the new thing from Amy was her paw beads, and I just love seeing all sorts of new things. So I'm really looking forward to it. It just every year you have a different type of experience, meet new
Yeah,
people, see new things. I'm excited to see Rachel and Sam.
yeah,
Yeah, so that's going to be fun. I'll be doing a live with them and just, see what happens. We're not doing any other events this year like I have for the last couple. So really,
yeah.
really excited to just kind of get back to basics and do a lot of bead shopping. However, I am opening the bead store, so my focus has changed a little bit. In the past, I've ordered or purchased some things that maybe I wanted to get for my bead group, but
Yeah.
not with the thought of buying to resell. So I'm kind of testing the waters with the bead store this year. Very much looking forward to that.
That's very exciting. We should make that another one of our topics to get into more detail, maybe in the next show. I think the next show we'll want to talk about what happened in Tucson
Yes. Yeah.
and
So
share some of what we did. And then I think you'll be ready to really share some exciting stuff about your shop.
yeah, yeah. I can't believe it's happening.
I'm glad it
I
is. It's
cannot
about
believe
time.
it's Turquoise.Street beads, guys. If you're interested, check it out.
Coming soon.
Coming soon.
All right. So I think those are our main features for today, but I think we want to talk about one of our routine features that we're going to do each month. So Brittany and I both do a lot of work with companies, so bead shops and jewelry supply companies, and we create a lot for them, but we create for ourselves, and I create to sell. I have my own brand, Deb Loves, LUVS, Jewelry Designs. And so I thought it would be fun just to share, like every time we meet, like what's your favorite thing that you made in the last, month or so, and talk a little bit about it, why it's your favorite, what inspired it, what's in it. And we can just keep sharing those things. And maybe that will also be another thing that you guys can share with us, which the favorite
Mhm.
thing that you made, and show and tell about why. So do you have something you want to share, Brittany?
You know what? I think I've already shared it. It was the earrings, the Greek key earrings, that and the artisan beads that I've been making, and I didn't bring any into this room. My clay room's next door, and they're all over there. But I've been doing a lot of painted pieces. Um, and if I'm editing this video, I'll put a picture of a couple of them here.
Yeah,
But
good.
I really have just been so enthusiastic about painting and creating with these items, and we're going to start seeing a lot more of that on my channel. I'm going to try and tie my channel into the new bead store a little bit more, so you can see what I've been doing, and you'll probably start seeing more behind the scenes as well.
That's very exciting.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to see that.
So what about you, Deb? What was your favorite thing this month?
Well, so I did a project for Art Beads, which is this guy, and it is a fidget bracelet. And
Ooh,
it was supposed to be, so when I originally got the materials to put this project together, the fidget concept wasn't in my mind. It was actually supposed to be a music inspired bracelet. I have a little music
cute.
note charm, but I ended up making a fidget bracelet. It's a double stranded beaded bracelet with beads that actually slide around on the
I
other beads.
love that. I love that. I love fidgeting with my jewelry, and anything that has something that I can play with is a plus in my book. You'll have to send me a picture of that so I can insert it here so people can see it a little bit more closely.
I did I did this project in a tutorial for Art Beads, and then I did it live with Becky Doll. I think it was the end of just I think it's right the beginning of December. So for a project, that people could make on their own, and then I couldn't help myself. I made a second one for
Are
rings
those
and things.
cubes?
They are faceted rondelles, large
Oh, they're
hole.
gorgeous.
They're garnets, and they're over a gold lined seed bead. And both of these are beautiful. They're just very different. And
Wow.
I did some little tag charms.
I
Um,
love that. I might need to make one of those because that is gorgeous.
so
I'll have
these
to watch that
became
tutorial.
my favorite things it's hard for me to pick a favorite, but these are definitely my favorite from like roughly the last month or so. So
Amazing.
they're fun.
Gorgeous. Love
Thank
that.
you. Thank
And I've
you.
heard that people want to know how to use large hole beads more. So we'll definitely put the link to that tutorial in the description so you can see how to use your large hole beads. I'm gonna watch it because I got a lot of large hole beads that I want to use. The implications are fantastic because African beads have a lot of large holes too. So
Yes. And I think there's just something about that tactile, there's actually studies about that helps people concentrate, and it helps people with learning disabilities. And the fidget concept is really supposed to be something that is good for you
yeah. I
when
love it.
used
I
in the
know it
right.
helps me with anxiety a lot.
Yep.
And uh just having that extra layer or something that you can just kind of focus on for a real quick like hit of your
Yeah.
dopamine. Like, oh,
Yeah,
look at these pretty beads and move these around.
totally. Yeah. Well, you and I would fidget with our jewelry, even if they weren't intended to be fidget things.
Right.
So
Right.
it's what we do.
Are you wearing any jewelry today? I think I see some earrings.
So I'm
Oh yeah.
wearing these were they're seed bead, and
Pretty.
they have a little bit of brick stitch and then just some like fringy things. These were inspired by a picture that I saw somewhere, not intended to copy someone, but just I saw them. I wanted to try and make them to help me because I'm working on seed beading.
Mm-hmm.
And so these I thought were just super fun. So they matched my shirt perfectly. So,
Lovely.
and you
Lovely.
have on, looks like you have on a necklace or something.
I do. Let's see.
African beads. Oh,
There we
love
go.
that.
I made this. I did not do a tutorial, but I think I made it in like 2019 or 2020. And my jewelry is all packed up in my closet because I haven't unpacked anything in the last 8 months. So this was kind of sitting on top as not something that I didn't pack last time, and I was like, oh, I haven't worn that in maybe a year, so let's put it on because
It's
it's really
beautiful.
pretty and it's a
Really
nice
beautiful
weight. It's
beads.
like wearing a weighted blanket.
Yeah. That's
So,
supposed to be good for you too, right?
right.
Jewelry is good for your health.
Jewelry's good for your health. Maybe not your pocketbook, but your health for sure.
All right. Should we reveal the challenge, the crimped challenge for us?
I'm very excited to see what this is because I have zero idea what Deb is going to give me. I gave Deb the most atrocious item about a month ago, so I cannot wait to see how she uses it in her design. Deb probably does
So
not love this design.
I don't. So, but I love a challenge.
Me
So
too.
I have what Brittany is challenging me with. So we're not giving each other any other rules this time. So our challenges are going to morph over time. Like sometime we might be really specific or just very vague. And I would say this is vague because the materials are challenging.
Terrible.
So Brittany handed this to me. And first of all, any ideas you guys have, I'm like, message me.
I'll allow it because I tortured her with this. This is a pill bottle from when Goldie had a prescription. She had all her teeth out, and this was one of her medications. And the second I saw it, and Deb told me about this challenge, I said, "Well, we're using this pill bottle somehow." She can do whatever she wants to it. She can disassemble it. She can do whatever she wants. Cut it up. She's got to use the pill bottle some way, somehow.
Yeah. So, and I mean,
Love you,
it
Deb.
says, I cracked up because I actually read it and Goldie's name is on here, Goldie Chihuahua. Like it's,
Her full name is Goldie Margaret Chavers, but
no, she had a middle name.
yeah, she's Goldie
That's
Margaret.
great. So this is mine. And I will be doing something with this. And I think Brittany and I talked about maybe sharing some work in progress photos along the way. So I'll keep you posted. But Brittany has not seen what I'm giving her. I'll be handing these over to her when I see her next week. So
I started saying her name, and she's walking around my camera moving it. Hold on, because I said her name
okay,
3 times.
we need a guest spot. Oh, Goldie. Look at her little lip. Oh, she's so cute.
It's her tongue hanging out because she doesn't have any teeth anymore.
Because
Yes,
she
you.
had these drugs after her teeth, right?
She's such a good girl. She's a mommy's baby. She is a Velcro dog, if you know what that means. So
yes. All right. So Brittany,
I'm nervous. Drum roll.
This is a trio of things.
Okay.
They're all the same.
Okay.
They are a trio of champagne bottle caps.
Oh, you went in easy on me, Deb. You went so easy on me. Thank you.
So if you've never seen these, they are, so when they put a cork in the champagne and then they put this little cap on top of the cork and then they put the wire around it and they wire it so that the cork doesn't pop out. And so they're branded. This one has snakes on it, which I thought was cool, but they have these little indentations. So they're not like a bottle cap with all of the ridges around it. There's 4 ridges on them. So they're all different. They're from different champagnes. I'm a champagne drinker, but most of the time I drink the cheap stuff. But these are fun. They're different colors. And so I don't know. It's probably not a terrible challenge for you, but probably something you wouldn't normally work with.
On cloud 9, it looks like this is gonna be a breeze compared to whatever you've got to do. So send them my way. You can give them to me next weekend when I see you in Tucson.
Yeah. So, but you know what? I do have some ideas for this silly thing that's actually been rattling around in my studio now for a month. Like I dropped it on the floor at one point. I'm like, I don't care. I'll find it. There's no way I'm going to miss this.
When you should have seen her face when I gave it to her. She's just like, are you kidding me? I'm going to leave out one of the words, but still.
I think I may have said that.
Are you killing me?
I may have said that way. Yes. Yeah. So that's our challenge. So when, we're kind of just feeling our way through this. So we might reveal this ahead of the next show, or we might wait till the next show. But I'm thinking we'll do a couple of little sneak peeks at least before the big reveal. So this might be a challenge that might be hard for you guys when we give you the next challenge, but we'll think of a way to do the next challenge to include you guys. But your challenge is to do that earring design. So there's the information is on the page if you missed it in the video and don't want to go back. But we hope that you'll take the earring challenge and be part of the Crimped Challenge crew and have some fun. Let that be an inspiration for you.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing everybody's photos for sure.
Yeah. So Brittany, I think that's it for this show. Kind of a long one, but I hope that this has been helpful. And please, guys, kindly share feedback to us. This is a group of kindness, and if you read about the Pantone Color of the Year, you'll see a little bit more about kindness. So we're going to see you again in about a month, and we'll have a lot of things to share then too. And we look forward to seeing you all again, and we really appreciate you being here.
Yeah, we love you all, and thank you so much for your continued support. We've already seen so much enthusiasm in our Crimped group on Facebook and through everybody joining our page as well. So I'm really looking forward to next month. I cannot wait to see how Deb uses that pill bottle, and we're really going to be looking forward to bringing you some fantastic content from Tucson. Let us know what you want to see from there as well. All right, everybody.
Bye. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye,
everybody.
Deb.